Hi, I'm Steph and this is lesson 29. So in this lesson we're moving on to the next part of the syllabus where we apply one social theory to Papua New Guinea. So back in lesson 10 we had some videos about Rostow's theory of economic development. You can watch those again if students need that refresher course. Obviously first, like we do in every lesson, we're going to have a look at the map on the plant pot, but we're specifically going to do that where we move on to new sections in the syllabus, like this one, for example. So look back and rehash that explanation of Rostow's theory of economic development if you need to. There's another article available here, which is a really great read. It's got the stages of economic development from an opportunity perspective. And what's really good about that website is that it has the statistics for lots of different countries, but also for PNG. So that's where we can get some numeracy happening in our lessons by looking at those statistics. And it's basically talking about money coming out of the country, going into the country, that sort of thing. You'll see when you open the website. So we've already had a video that explained how dependency theory interacts with Rostow in the context of Papua New Guinea, but we can run through that again briefly if we need to. So what you had was Rostow's economic theory running like this, from primitive society through all the stages of development to the high mass consumption, and that was Rostow. And he argued that every country, given the right conditions and preconditions for takeoff, would develop along this particular axis. So if Australia is up here and Papua New Guinea is down here, then it's up to Australia to come back and give aid to Papua New Guinea to move Papua New Guinea through to this point. So dependency theory argues that that's not what happens at all. In fact, Papua New Guinea gets stuck in a cycle of dependency with Australia that just goes round and round. Basically, Australia is taking all the minerals out of the ground in Papua New Guinea. So all of the dollars that should be helping to propel Papua New Guinea along this axis are actually going back to Australia rather than going to Papua New Guinea. That's not happening. So technically, in theory, where the money coming out of Papua New Guinea should be being used to further Papua New Guinea along this axis, it in fact isn't happening. Also, with Rostow, there's this assumption that everybody wants to move along that timeline. So there's this assumption that development is good. But that sort of discounts traditional culture. And it discounts diversity. So that's what we're looking at when we're talking about Rostow, and we're talking about dependency theory in the context of Papua New Guinea. So hopefully that'll be a good lesson. That's lesson 29, and for homework we've set a reading here, and that reading actually directly relates to the World Bank putting Papua New Guinea on reform hard rations, pretty much asking Papua New Guinea to pay back the money that it owes to the World Bank. And that's stopping Papua New Guinea from investing in its own resources and moving up along this axis. Rather, Papua New Guinea is pumping money back into the World Bank, and we need to ask students to think about who actually owns and controls the World Bank. And that's all explored in that article. So we're moving through this deconstruct, reconstruct model once again. We're also in a story sharing mode because we are now telling the story of Papua New Guinea. And what you need to do is frame it like a narrative. Frame it as the story of Papua New Guinea, and that's how we're going to incorporate the 8 ways into this lesson. Thanks.